Hi, and welcome to Talking Kaizer Chiefs. And this is Peter du Toit. It's brought to you by SoccerBeat, and I've got an additional member of the team today. It's myself and Tsepo Masilela and the one and only Kermit Erasmus. Kermit, welcome. You need no introduction. Anybody doesn't know who this guy is, go to another channel. How are you, Kermit?
I'm good. How are you doing? How's it? Good.
I'm in better shape than at the moment. Sorry, Chiefs fans. Right, guys. We're talking Kaizer Chiefs. 2-0 defeat to Polokwane away from home. What we want to talk about are there positives coming out of this game? What are the negatives? Are there any improvements? Defensively, there are clearly problems. Is Nabi the right guy to develop a team that can defend properly, which is the basics of football? And then I want to talk about the Sereno factor. There's a lot of issues going around Sereno. I want to unpack that as well. But let's talk first of all from your point of view, Tsepo. What are the positives and negatives you see here?
Oh, Peter, let me start with the negatives. Definitely, again, another league game where they couldn't keep a clean sheet. And how do you win games if, I think every game they've played so far, they couldn't keep a clean sheet. So it says a lot about, because defense is not only a responsibility of the four guys and the keeper. It maybe talks to the structure of the team or maybe the shape or the formation they're playing, and yeah, positive, not much in this game. They didn't get to create many chances, but I would say maybe the post-game interview from the coach when he said, he's gonna support his players. It's not the time, where he's gonna fight his players and try and go public and hammer them, So that's nice from the coach. But at the same time, we know coaches, behind closed doors, maybe hammered them today, But if you've got a coach that can protect you. Yes, if you've got a coach that can protect you in public, then, behind closed doors, he can hammer all he wants.
Yeah, I guarantee you haven't them. Your feelings, Kermit. You've been at the Pirates, you've been at the Chiefs, you've been in league winning teams.
For me,
positives and negatives.
Mm-hmm. Like Tsepo said, yes, they've lost them. It's obviously a loss for a big team. It's not a good result for them, and they've been struggling. Yes, they've got some positive results as time went on, but the loss is a loss, for a big team. It's very demanding being part of a team like that and what is expected from you as fans. And I'm sure, like Tsepo said, the coach probably spoke to them after the game, and I'm sure he's infuriated by the fact that they lost and in the way they lost as well. But the positive I can say, is the fact that they're trying to create their own identity. Chiefs hasn't played from the back in a while, and you see them trying that and applying that is something to look forward to, because it's not easy to apply those things and to play the ball in risky areas just to create space in the next line. So I think if they just play closer together and reduce the spaces between each other, then I think the passing lanes will be better to play through the lines. And that's what I can take from today's game.
So I would agree with both of you on that. However, I want to make a couple of points that we've got 8 games gone now, so it's quarter of the season. And to me, the team has not improved since the first few games. The first few games, we were all excited. Nabi ball, the team looked great going forward, quick 1-2, supporting each other off the ball. But since that opening spell, the team's got, in my eyes, weaker and poorer defensively, weaker and poorer in an attacking point of view. In actual fact, their attacks are quite frenetic, and their ball possession has got worse as well. Now, there's a couple of things here. There's things when I watch this Chiefs team play. Chiefs players are not basic players. When you're playing for Kaizer Chiefs, the coach shouldn't be taking you from an average player. When you play for Chiefs, you're considered a top-level player, whether you're at Sundowns, Chiefs, or Pirates. So you're not a player with unfulfilled potential, even when you're a youngster like Willekaz and Shabalala. So I don't buy the thing that they don't have the players. Chiefs have to have the players. What I'm concerned, though, is that the basics of football is stopping goals going in. And this Chiefs team is conceding goals all the time, and that's something you can work on. You can work on as a team. You don't have to be a great player to defend on free kicks and so on. And look at the goal, the first goal, that ball, and Tsepo, you're a defender, I'd like you to answer that. Great goal, great passing movement, and a great ball in, no discussion. But that started on the right-hand side, 1-2s to the left. Why did it take Dortley and Cross, who are defenders? Your first rule is 7 yards, 5 meters, straight line back, face ball, face the opposition goals. By the time that cross came in, they were still running back. That's basic defending. That's not you don't get that right now. Tsepo, tell me, am I wrong or is this fact?
No, it's a fact. Once as a defender, if the ball goes wide and we call it you protecting the heart. You try make that sprint to get your positioning right. Firstly, so you can also your body shape. You can see the winger, you can see the ball. But maybe for me, I felt like they were just caught like napping, as in ball watching. Because that move happened so quickly. When they played that 1-2 and they passed to the left, when the cross came in, I think they were 5 seconds late, both the left back and the left center back. I think they were just ball watching, when the action moved to the left hand side, which is the right side of Kaizer Chiefs defense.
But as a famous Kaizer Chiefs coach said, Paul Dolazar, that's a criminal. That's 101 basic. Tsepo, that's 101 basic defending. These guys are well playing for Kaizer Chiefs. This is not even something that a coach could tell you. But anyway, so to me, I'm concerned about the defending. I'm also the second goal, Mark very sloppily passed, caught the team out, but I suppose you're already 1-0 down. Just what improvements do you see, if any, Tsepo and Kermit, since the start of the season? Not this game in particular.
For me, I would say the improvements I can see is the fact that, like I said, they're trying to build it from the back. And like I say, it takes time. I've been part of a building process, and it's not easy, to get players to understand phases of play, spaces, manipulating spaces, committing players to come out of their position, all the way to come and press you until they get to a point where they're about to reach the ball and then passing the ball. So those small detailed elements of the tactical side of the game is important, where players will probably learn as time goes how to adjust to it. And I mean, we have the ability to adapt as players. I mean, Tsepo has played in many countries before and he's adapted to different formations, and I'm sure that the players can do that. It's not rocket science, It's all about applying yourself and being present when you're learning new things at training.
Yeah. Tsepo, improvements you've seen?
As you said, I was so excited after watching the first 2-3 games of Kaizer Chiefs. I thought, oh my God, back to top 3, top 4 level. It was top 3, top 4 level stuff, Peter. And the last couple of games they played a draw against Royal AM. Today again they disappointing results, and it's tough to see many because but I like what the coach has been doing. He's giving everyone a chance. Today I saw Potsane. Ashley was not part of the starting 11 when the season began, but now he's ahead of Ranga. And not so long ago I saw Pule Modi. So the nice thing is giving everyone a chance. So when the season is over and he gives his report card to the team, they can't blame the coach, the players. He's given everyone. Look, Ox has started the past 2 games. Again, it's also up to players to lift up their game. And you must raise your hand and be counted. And if you don't want to be part of this Nabis team, then if you don't pull up your socks, you won't be part of this Nabis team going forward. Because it's definitely going to look for players, Peter. He's definitely going to go and look for players.
Tsepo, I hear you, but my argument would be none of these players were bought by Chiefs yesterday. Every player you mentioned has been a Chiefs for more than this season. Mobi, Motsane, they all came. Dupree, they've all been there before. So the club knows these players inside out. There should have been a resume given to the coach about these players. He spent a long preseason with them. He should know it's a quarter way through the season who's good enough, who's not good enough. Yes, of course, he's giving them a full chance. But if we don't see big changes in this transfer window coming up, then next season's another rebuilding because they're going to have to bring in 5 new players. But let's take a short break, and we'll be back with you with Kermit and Tsepo. Don't go away. I want to talk about Sereno.
Hey, Taola.
All right, here we go.
Ko betweng ba tshepela hore o tshwantse o betjhe ka tsela e nepahetseng.
Ka nako e nngwe ho tlamehile hore o ikhule hanyane.
Ka nako tse ding
O ska leka go busha tše di lahlegilego.
Nakusasa kuse olunye usuku.
Dlala ngokusemandleni wakho.
Ge o tlhoka thušo go gona.
hopola, bet responsibly.
Welcome back, guys. It's Talking Kaizer Chiefs, brought to you by SoccerBeat. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. We will we watch all and read all your comments, and we take them to head. Right. Let's just go back to this game. 2-0 defeat Polokwane. And they're no mugs. They're a smart team. You know, they've beaten Sundowns. We mustn't underestimate them. But as I say, I don't see any real improvement in the Kaizer Chiefs team. But I want to talk about the star man, Gaston Sirino. Before I give you my questions, I want to ask you, Kermit, you played with the guy. What's he like training? What's he like off the field and match day?
I mean, Sereno's a great guy. He works hard in training, and he's his own human being, he's his own person, you know, and very playful off the field and loves to have fun, enjoys life. And I've never had any problems with him, never had any issues or heard of any issues while I was playing with him at our time at Sundowns. So he's been a good guy. He's never had I can't speak of any issues on him. And like what you speak on about the issues there is, and you will probably raise it now, and I'll give my 2 cents once you do.
Tell me, as a player though, when he was on the field, forget about training, forget about whether he's a nice guy. As a player, when he was playing, was there a big difference when he is not playing?
100%. I mean, you can see the impact he has as a player, and when he's in the mood, he brings his A game. I mean, he still struggles with English, but when I played with him, we could communicate without even speaking to each other, and that just shows you the football brain he has. Very smart, always thinking 3 steps ahead, and if you're not alert around him, you might pass you the ball without you expecting it, and then you look stupid. So he's one of the smartest players, out the box, you know, unpredictable type of guys on the field, and you must always be ready as an attacking player when he's on the ball. So that's what I can say.
So, there's no doubt he's an absolutely superb soccer player, and he's a major asset as a player for Kaizer Chiefs. And I was actually surprised when Sundowns let him go. But it's common knowledge that people used to call him Pizzo's son, because Pizzo always used to say, don't worry about Sereno, he doesn't have to go in the ice bath, so on and so forth. Pizzo understood how to treat him, and maybe that's what brought the best out of him. We're not sure if Rolani did that the same way as Pizzo, and maybe that was some of the hassle that's unconfirmed, obviously. But I've been told, and if you read in Soccer Doom in their last issue, and I've then made inquiries myself, that there's problems there. He hasn't come training. He doesn't. Well, when I say he's been injured, and instead of coming to the club for treatment, he's had treatment with his own guy, and that's caused the problem. He didn't want to travel to Port Elizabeth for the friendly because he was injured. The club forced him to train. You know, when you've got a star player that's not 100% happy or not really training, and you've got a relatively young squad, that can cause issues within the team, and those issues within the team, I'm not saying a rotten apple because he's certainly not a rotten apple, but those things can affect the team. And at the start of the season, I'm just joining the dots here. At the start of the team, he was flying. At the start of the season, he was flying, and the team looked spectacular. He's not flying at the moment, and the team looks flat. So is the Sereno factor the key thing here? And it doesn't surprise me if it is, because if you look at the rest of the lineup, they're young players or journeymen. No disrespect. But sure, he is the star. So isn't it vital that they get him fit and they get him in a good mood? And if that means let him get away with being treated in Pretoria or having his little bit of star quality, isn't that the right thing? Because it's clear, when he was flying at the start of the season, that was the difference. Now, you've both been players.
For me, it's just about communication. Don't you think, Tsepo? It's all about communication, man. Whether
Yes,
you go where it's long communicated and it's agreed upon amongst the 2 parties, then there shouldn't be any issues, you know. Just communicate.
Because I see also, you know, there's in Europe, there's players, especially South American, Brazilian players, when they have a long-term injury, you know, they would ask permission from the coach and from the team to go maybe for a month or 2 months, you know, go do treatment at home. And obviously there has to be some sort of communication between the physios or biochemists or whoever is doing the treatment in your home country. You know, it has happened to me in Israel. I was going to be out for 3 months after a surgery, and I asked to guys, can I fly home? You know, after the surgery, spend 3 weeks at home, and I'll come back before my rehab time. You know, but the communication is key, and there has to be reports. You can't say, no, my physio is treating me without any report to the team. What if your physio didn't come and treat you? and again, you're a Kaizer Chiefs, You are a Kaizer Chiefs player. They employed you. So the team has a right to say no or yes. It's not a problem, but if the team says no, we want you by the village, Sereno, for treatment, he has to follow the team's orders or the coach's orders and report to the village because he's got a contract with Kaizer Chiefs. You can't do as you please.
But Kermit hits on something, is communication. He can just say, no understand, no speaking, no hablo, speaking.
That's so easy. That's so easy to communicate. Maybe you can get away with it one time, but not.
No, I'm kidding. Guys, we're going to take a short break for another ad, then we'll be back with. I want to ask Tsepo and Kermit the way forward in the short term for Nabi and Kaizer Chiefs.
The Carling Black Label Cup is here to put the power back in your hands. Fagugesi at the Carling Cup on 21 December at Orlando Stadium. Buy your tickets at Ticket Pro. T's and C's apply.
Welcome back to Talking Kaizer Chiefs, brought to you by SoccerBeat. And as I say, follow us on our social media platforms and please share and tell everybody about us. Right, guys. What's the advice to Nabi and Kaizer Chiefs short term? The next 4 games. How do they get out of this rut? They're not going to be able to sign any players. What changes do they make? How do they get out of this rut? Kermit.
Well, I think continuing with the game, the identity, and creating the confidence in the players to believe that it will work, because like I said, it's not going to work over a period of a season right away. You need some time, and if you're saying short term, changing formation or changing style of play is not going to help the long term. So short term is going to be a challenge to change things around 360, but one game at a time. Yes, it was a bad result, but it's maybe bad from their own mistakes. That's why the result was bad, especially the second goal. And the first goal, yes, bad positioning from defenders. But those are mistakes that can be corrected, man. And I just feel that believing in the identity and believing in the coach's identity that he's trying to bring across is important, because you have to buy into the same philosophy, and that's how you achieve things. If the players are not buying into what the coach is selling, then it won't work. So I see that they're trying to buy into it. They just got to believe that it will work, and that will change things for them.
Right. Tsepo, short-term advice. Kermit says, just keep doing what you're doing.
Oof, it's unfortunately at big teams sometimes you don't have that much time. I hear Kermit say, it's not gonna happen overnight, and at teams like Kaizer Chiefs, Sundowns, Pirates, you don't have the full 3 seasons. Where you're gonna say this season is but Peter, they need points. Like I don't know how they're gonna get points, but they need points. If you look at their form, it's a mid-table team form that they're in. After this number of games, 8 games, and you look at the points and everything. But I don't know if Nabi has to change maybe I understand his philosophy is try attack and go for the kill and wants to exciting football, score goals. Maybe a bit of changing of tactics. Formation can be, you can play around with formation. It can be a 4-2-3-1. It can be a 4-1-4-1. But you need to get a balance on both ends, on the defensive side, and try create chances again. So it's tough to say which direction they take now. But they need points. That I know, because the Chiefs fan won't be patient for if they're out of the top 8 come end of the season. So it's as good as last season. So to improve, you need points.
So I've identified 3 things that I would say that Nabi's got to change in the short term, and they're not difficult to change. Number 1, they've got to work defensively, stop conceding goals, and that is concentration. And those defenders the goalkeeper got to be talking more. They've got to concentrate more, and in doing so, I think Ox, if he's going to play there, has got to play almost as a 6th defender, because if he drops deeper into that, your fullbacks can be you're spreading across the whole, and you don't get caught when the ball's wide and so on. So I'd say number 1, work more on the defensive side of the game. Number 2, you don't have to try and break as quickly, because when they break so quickly, the spaces between Chiefs are just too far, and players are too spread out, especially in the second half when he seems to tell them, go forward, go forward, go forward. And it seems like they're almost playing park football. Everybody's just trying to get forward. And then you just keep knocking on that door and the door's closed. You've got to find other ways to open that door. So they've got to be a little bit more patient in their play as well. I think, a bit more patience in their play, slow the pace down a little bit. You don't have to run forward all the time. There's cleverer ways to get past defenders. Slow it down a bit. Make certain that the spaces between strikers, midfield, and defense is a little tighter, and you can keep the ball at the back. Our South African style of play is a kind of patient build-up, and then we attack. So I think Nabi's got to maybe play more to the player's strengths than to his identity, and then build the identity on the player's strengths. But anyway, I don't think Nabi's going to listen to us, but I'd like to hear what the fans think about views and myself. Kermit, welcome to your first show. You're going to do a lot more. I can't hear to what you say about Pirates. Yeah. Tsepo, chat again about Chiefs. This is Talking Kaizer Chiefs, brought to you by SoccerBeat. See you guys later in the week. Cheers. All the best.
Cheers.
SoccerBeat, what's